I think that most of us would mention North Korea as one of the 5 worst places to live in. Why exactly is that the case? There are reasons for that, and we wanted to know more, so we made a list. These are the reasons why you should never visit North Korea. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. More about North Korea. North Korea is like another planet. North Korea is officially called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK or DPR Korea for short. Not that there's any democracy to speak of. To call Korea democratic is like calling the sky green. It's a country in East Asia constituting the northern part of the Korean peninsula. The country is bordered to the north by China and by Russia along the Amnok-Tumen rivers, and to the south by the democratic country of South Korea, with the heavily fortified Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, separating the two. North Korea, like its stubborn counterpart, claims to be the legitimate government of the entire peninsula and adjacent islands. Pyongyang is the country's capital and largest city. Korea was split into two after the unsuccessful Korean War from 1950 to 1953. The USA and other allied countries fought themselves to a standstill against North Korea, and eventually the country was split in two along the Korean Demilitarized Zone. Russia controlled the north, and the USA controlled the south. According to Article 1 of the Constitution of North Korea, the DPRK is an independent socialist state. North Korea holds elections, though they have been described by independent observers as sham elections. North Korea is therefore nothing more than a totalitarian dictatorship with an elaborate cult personality formed around the Kim dynasty. The Workers' Party of Korea, WPK, led by a member of the ruling family, holds absolute power in the state and leads the Democratic Front for the Reunification of the Fatherland, of which all political officers are required to be members. According to Article 3 of the Constitution of the DPRK, Juche is the North Korean official ideology. The means of production are owned by the state through state-run enterprises and collectivized farms. Most services, such as healthcare, education, housing, and food production, are subsidized or state-funded. From 1994 to 1998, North Korea suffered a famine that resulted in the deaths of between 240,000 and 420,000 people, and the population continues to suffer from malnutrition. North Korea follows Songun, or military first policy. It's the country with the highest number of military and paramilitary personnel, with a total of 9,495,000 active, reserve, and paramilitary personnel, or approximately 37% of its population. Its active duty army of 1.21 million is the fourth largest in the world after China, the United States, and India, consisting of 4.7% of its population. It possesses nuclear weapons. In addition to being a member of the United Nations since 1991, North Korea is also a member of the Non-Aligned Movement, G77, and the ASEAN Regional Forum. Why does the US act aggressively towards other countries with nuclear weapons and not against North Korea? It's thought that the war will be too costly and that the US public consensus would grind any offensive to a standstill. A 2014 UN inquiry into abuses of human rights in North Korea concluded that the gravity, scale, and nature of these violations reveal a state that does not have any parallel in the contemporary world, with Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch holding similar views. The North Korean government denies these abuses. What a surprise. Reasons not to go to North Korea. Unless you want to break some Guinness World Record for visiting all the countries in the world, do not go to North Korea. Here's why. The ban on wearing blue jeans. Don't ever think of getting comfortable in your baggy, worn-out blue jeans if you ever happen to be in North Korea, or wearing the tight stretch ones either. According to Kim Jong-un, wearing blue jeans is a symbol which represents American imperialism to its core, so he banned it. It seems weird how a piece of clothing of a specific color and texture could say I represent America, but Kim Jong-un has declared it in his ban it meeting, so you have to obey, otherwise get ready to die. In North Korea, Kim Jong-un is seen as a god, so nobody can go against his wishes. The fact is that if a country bans a piece of clothing, alarm bells should already start ringing in your head. No sarcasm is allowed in North Korea. If you ever wanted to see what a person looks like who wants to control everything, then Kim Jong-un is a prime example. There's a reason why the picture of their supreme leader Kim Jong-un is used in sarcastic memes posing for funny, not-so-funny situations. North Koreans are not allowed to have any chill. You can't ever joke about the blue jeans ban saying, "Wow, a ban? That's cool." This would not just fetch you a ticket or fine, it'll cost you your life. No jokes there indeed. So our sarcasm heroes Dr. House, Iron Man, Sherlock, and Chandler Bing won't survive a day in North Korea. Thank God they weren't born there. No sarcasm means no free speech, as you have probably surmised as well. Rather, keep quiet if you ever end up there. Speaking against the government is definitely not allowed. Getting back to the free speech thing, if you ever happen to naively ask about the logic behind those bans, it'll be considered treachery, and you'd be killed 5 times over because bans in North Korea are taken very seriously. Once you enter that door, it's a one-way road to death. The only people who speak up against North Korea are those who have left the country, but only if their family is safe. Speaking out against the government could end up with your family being punished because you aren't there to be punished yourself. Watching foreign TV shows is not allowed. Speaking of Iron Man and Sherlock, poor North Koreans might not know who they are because they're not allowed to watch foreign television. If they ever get caught watching anything other than the government-sanctioned channels, the punishment is, you probably guessed it, death. It kind of reminds me of the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. She only knew one punishment: off with their heads. Not that I would ever call Kim a queen to his face. Alcohol? No. As could have been expected from the country with the most uptight leader ever, alcohol is banned in North Korea. Before the alcohol could get to your organs and make you terminally ill, the government would charge you with a death penalty, thus saving you from the gruesome slow death. Alcohol is reserved for special occasions only. Now get this, alcohol may be illegal, but marijuana is legal in North Korea. It may be the only thing they ever got right. You know, because alcohol kills so many people and costs society a fortune, but weed, well, not so much. Just saying. Religion is also banned. North Korea is not that liberal when it comes to religion. You can't practice any religion over there unless you wish to die. And by any religion, I mean literally any religion. The only religion is their supreme leader before whom they have to bow. Well, let's be honest. With all the wars and self-righteous violence under religion, maybe they got this one right as well. Anyway, if you want to pray to whatever god you worship while you're there, do it quietly. Very quietly. No traveling out of North Korea. With all these bans and rules, people might want to get some break and think about foreign vacations. But no, that option is also off the table. North Koreans are not allowed to travel abroad except under special provisions such as to take part in the Olympics. People who try to defect to South Korea and fail are also executed. Those who attempt to flee to China are sent back to face the same dreadful fate. They can't complain about it either, because complaining also banned. Imagine never being able to feel the waters of a warm tropical beach around your feet, or never being able to go on a Nile cruise. The 3-generation sentence. Try to not have children in North Korea. Here's why. Let's say you're ever found guilty of talking against the government, or wearing blue jeans, or praying, or drinking alcohol, or trying to escape to South Korea. You'll most probably end up serving a 3-generation sentence in Kaechon internment camp. That's how it works in North Korea. You and your entire family will be imprisoned there, and 2 of your subsequent generations will be born and spend their whole lives in prison. They'd never see the outer world. Worse than death indeed. One can almost not imagine that something so cruel could exist, but that is Kim Jong-un's way. In North Korea, if you ever play any music, you also have to face the music. One of the regime's former officers, Ji Hae-nam, made an error and sang a South Korean song at a Christmas party. She was imprisoned for 3 years in jail, where she was sexually abused, labored, starved, and beaten so severely that she couldn't get up for a month. She testified to all of this to the United States Congress after her desperate escape. The North Korean government, however, encourages state-sponsored music, and Kim himself permits music that praises his every move or the ideals of communism. How kind of him. No internet. Too bad that the North Koreans can't see this video because it's too sarcastic to be legal and talks badly about the state, and as a matter of fact, they don't have any internet. This might be the reason people don't hear much about the atrocities committed by the North Korean regime. Civilians are not allowed to move freely about and are only allowed to log on to a state-controlled portal which runs the regime's propaganda. So there you have it. If you bought a ticket, go ahead and cancel it. Don't go to North Korea, please, ever. With that video, we hope we've given you some non-propaganda information. We hereby order you to watch our next video. Just kidding. No, we don't. We do hope to see you come back, though. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, take care, and we'll see you next time.